Hey, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, here's Aganaze Jones back to her good old mischief videos again, actually. Okay, well, I wanted to let you know that I had a burning desire to do an election video in the year 2020. And unfortunately, my uncle he celebrated his 105th birthday, and then he started to pass away. And he did 2 days after Election Day. So I didn't have a chance to do this. But this year I thought it was very important for me to just bring out some very important points for all of us. Now I want you to know that this is for all of us. This is not for either party. It is for everybody. I personally was raised with a Democratic father and a Republican mother. I also was an activist for the Natural Law Party that formed a coalition with the Perot Loyalist Reform Party in the year 2000, Hagelin 2000 campaign. Also Marianne Williamson's bid for Congress for Henry Waxman's seat as an independent. So I've kind of considered myself an interdependent. But when I see situations that I think need to be addressed, I will speak out, and that's what I'm hoping most of us will do. We will take a stand and really look into the truth, the facts, and stop listening to things that are unsubstantiated, propaganda, conspiracy theories. I've been down that rabbit hole too. I was talked into going to some meetings that were going to tell me the truth of behind 9/11 and all this stuff. But guess what? I finally realized they didn't even agree, and I said, I don't want to go down, I want to go up. So I have control over my thoughts in my life. But right now I am seeing some situations that I think need to be addressed. So I'm doing this not as a red and blue issue as such, but I had to do this in a way just to give it some type of structure. So, and I'm not here for any other purpose, but we, the people of the United States of America, being in the preamble of our Constitution. That's meaning all of us, democracy, demos, people, cracy, government. All of us have to participate. All of us have to get out. It is up to us. We have to roll up our sleeves. And the first thing that we do is the voting. And yes, sometimes it's hard to figure out, well, you know, who's really on the level. Well, I'll tell you, the League of Republican Voters can, wrong. The League of Women Voters, okay, League of Women Voters, they have a lot of factual information. And there are other places that they will refer you to as well that help you with the issues with the judges. That's a biggie for a lot of us. So they give you information like the judges' mission statements, who endorse them. It's very, very helpful. So that's what we want to do, is kind of put ourselves, our parties and our affiliations aside right here. There was a man named Michael Masita who said, how to believe in nothing and set yourself free. Well, let's kind of go there right now. Let's just go to this video as an American and a person who lives on our wonderful planet Earth. And let's begin. Okay, so I made up this, I basically said vote blue in 2022. Why? Because, okay, I'm seeing some patterns here that I'm finding that I think we need to really see who's doing what and why. All right, so I had some red flags over here and our American flags over there. But what's happening here is we're having a lot of voter suppression with the Republican people. And again, it's not all Republicans. There are Republicans that are standing up for the Constitution, and Liz Cheney and other wonderful people who are just saying, hey, you know, we've got to keep our democracy. Good for them. So you would think that if people are on the level and they want you to be a free voter, they're not going to stop you from coming to vote. They're not going to have all these there was nothing wrong, first of all, nothing wrong with the 2020 election. There was nothing wrong with it. I've been a poll worker. I know what it's like. And believe me, every person I've been in, and not just once, I was in a lot of different situations. And every person that I worked with, I never had a doubt about any of them. And believe me, I can kind of pick them out. That we did not have the full integrity of that election in our service of that particular day. And we worked very hard. There was one evening when we could not reconcile. We had to work 5 times. We were so stressed out. We finally found the problem because we had a deadline to get the votes in. So just to let you know, I'm not spouting off here. I have kind of an eclectic background, and that's why I really want to speak out. So in the 2020 election, we had a lot of people come out despite there was a pandemic. And there was, I find it kind of funny that the former vice president decided, we're still up here. Oh, Ed is my trusty videographer here. Despite the, despite what he said about mail-in voting, that it was fraudulent, well, he's the one, he mailed his vote in, Donald Trump. So I find that kind of an oxymoron that he's saying it's, I found that kind of strange. But what we really want, and this whole thing about blocking people from bringing drinks for people in line and food, I mean, get real. That's just dividing people and suppressing people. Let people do things for each other. Let people bring, what the people's needs are. That's the whole point. Let's get everybody out to do this. That's the democracy. We don't suppress because we don't want certain people voting, or that's not okay. We are all God is in all of us. God is in everything, all creation. No one or nothing is better than anybody else. So there's the spiritual uplifter in me too. All right, so what we really want is the easy voting access, which we had in the 2020 election. And for people to have all these situations set up where they say, oh no, we don't count, those votes don't count because those people made those votes, and so we're gonna set this person in. That's not a democracy. That is totally not a democracy. We got all kinds of other dynamics going on that's really scary here. And a lot of people behind the scenes and not so behind the scenes that are working with propaganda and really trying to undermine our democracy. We don't want that. That's what we're working on, to head off at the pass. That's why I made this, because I believe in that so strongly. So that's the voting situation. So go and vote, and if people are harassing you or doing whatever, do what you can to just, hopefully that won't happen. But I've heard some scary things about, I guess, some Republicans saying that they're going to set up all these poll watchers, and I know I remember someone having to tell a person, you're too close, you need to back up to 100 feet, so. All right, now I chose only a few issues here, the kind of main issues. Well, look who we have here. We have Mitch McConnell. Yeah, Mitch McConnell. He talks like that so he can keep his choppers in. Anyway, he says he's going to block all of everything, Mitch, that Joe Biden wants to pass. Well, Mitch, you were voted in to pass legislation. What the H are you doing? You shouldn't even be in there if that's what your agenda is. No, people voted you in, and everybody else too, because you are to pass legislation for what their needs and wants are, for the good, the higher good of the country. So if this is if this is what's going on, now I'm not, of course most of the Republicans are following him, and a lot others aren't, and they're unfortunately getting sanctioned. I mean, that's wrong. That shouldn't be happening. They should have a right to be free, but it's really, when this type of thing is happening, it's not democracy, okay? So they have blocked a lot of legislation where Joe Biden and the Democrats, and not all of the Democrats, by the way, they've been blocking it too, a couple of them, and others have their kind of ideas about things in the Democratic Party. So, I'm not saying everybody's an angel or the opposite. Okay, but these people have been trying to pass a lot of legislation, and critical legislation for, not everybody has a free ride. We don't see it, no, that absolutely not. But everybody needs to have good work. We need to be able to have a good, healthy, working life, productive life, so that we can make America strong and keep it working the way it has been. So this is what we want. And also remember, they're passing legislation, the Voter Protection Act. These people are suppressing that. A lot of other things that they've been trying to get through that are going to help people. So that's what we want, people who are going to ensure these issues. Oops, there's a breeze coming up. Okay, oopsie. All right, so now, if I have to come back to these things, I will. Well, look who we have here. They're the not-so Supreme Court these days. They are in there. They are still the Supreme Court, some of the members, but a number of them aren't. And some of them have been out and out influenced by their spouse, or because of who put them in and who was behind putting them in. And I'm just finding that alarming, unconscionable, and also these people should have term limits. They should not be there for life especially if they're behaving this way. The past seemed to be pretty. They seem to go according to Constitution and according to integrity, but all of a sudden, boom. So we have this restricting rights situation going on, and it seemed to be more of a Republican issue, and because a lot of people, consider themselves to be Christian and Catholic, and that's nice, but you can't be let's take abortion for instance. Nobody really wants to have an abortion. Nobody really wants that. That's why we have contraception. That's why we use contraception. But if somebody is raped, or there's other issues, incest, and also that we shouldn't be. We need to really look at those situations, because those are very traumatic. Also, what I want to point out is, because these people have taken it to extremes. They have taken it to extremes and making people suffer needlessly. So, and women who are having an ectopic pregnancy, you don't make them keep that in their body. My God, my mother was a nurse, and she used to talk with her friends who were very well pro-life, if you will, but they knew that had to come out of the body. So, that was just something that, anyway, and also too, this whole thing about a woman whose baby has a miscarriage, and now some of these places these states are saying, oh, we got to investigate it. Forget that. That is just beyond evil. It's evil. And these people are calling themselves Christians. Excuse me, Jesus is vomiting you out of his mouth. You're serving the other Lord when you're doing that. When you're making that kind of suffering go on, that's who you're serving. So you people that are doing this, that's not right. So the women, my mom had it. When I was 3 years old, she was crying. She was traumatized. I didn't know what was going on. Found out later, well, she had a miscarriage. She had to go to the hospital, And if the police had come to our door and said, you're under investigation, for God's sake, she was already traumatized enough. That's ridiculous. This is just so wrong that these states are making these, and then the bounty hunting, and this is just so dividing. It's totally messing up our country. We need to be working together, and so this we're protecting our rights here. And that's what the people, most of the people in this party are willing to help us protect our rights. What we need to do is rein back some of that, the really extreme measures in the states. We need to rein that back, and we really need to get real about it, because a bunch of people who'd had no idea about medical, a woman's, or just anything. They have no idea about anything medical that is going on, and then they make these decisions, and people suffer. Like George Carlin said, they're not pro-life, they're anti-woman. He's right. Okay, so here we go. January 6th, the big lie. Well, we got our little old friend Jason Chanley there, the QAnon shaman, or as self-proclaimed, that is. Or as one of the news anchors said, with the Chewbacca Manchurian headdress. Anytime a person is advocating violence to get their way, I mean, isn't that a red flag? I'm sorry. We have a little, I've got to hold this. We have a little breeze going on here, and we're on a slight hill. Anytime we have somebody advocating violence or going after people because they don't agree with them, that is an autocracy. That is a kleptocracy, because it's a crime government. It's many things that is not democracy. So, and the big lie, it is a lie that Donald Trump won the election. He didn't win the election. We voted who we chose to vote in. And this cannot continue. So we also are finding out things about what he's been doing with top secret documents. So accountability is what has to happen right now. People cannot get away with the things that they're getting away with, because it will destroy our country, and we cannot have that happen. I'm grateful to all the Republican candidates that are coming out to stand firm against the QAnon, I call it kookanon, candidates, because you don't even know where that information is coming from, for God's sake. And you can't say, oh, well, I saw a video of so-and-so going into, I know he went in there. No, you don't. I have iMovie. I can tweak videos. Get real, folks. You have no proof of anything if you're going on the internet. I'm telling you. And if you say, oh, I saw this, and no. You need to get with news sources that are really, really reliable. Okay, maybe yes, I know our mainstream media has some, editing and all that. I totally get that. I've already seen that happen. But, let's just find the best places we can. And don't give yourself over to some cult, for God's sake. We don't need to be a nation of zombies of a cult. Okay, so that's why then we got the climate. So I'm saving our democracy. That's what we're working for here, is to save our democracy, and so are some of the Republicans too. But it seems like the majority, a lot of them, have sold out to some of these, conspiracies. Now, climate change, that's, we're in Southern California, so we're talking about the wildfires. Okay, that is a critical issue. We have to take responsibility for our planet. We have to stop exploiting it. The rainforest, unfortunately, people are exploiting the rainforest for money. It's greed. The greed and the ego of the few has been causing the suffering of the masses on this planet, and it has to stop. And we're going to have to take a stand on all of that and roll up our sleeves and work for it too. So this is what I believe some of the climate legislation was recently passed. I'm trying to remember. There was a lot of legislation finally that made it through. So what we're saying here is vote with as much factual information as you can get access from reliable resources, and then we will be saving our planet and our democracy. There's our wonderful Statue of Liberty there, our beautiful Statue of Liberty. And I certainly hope that this has helped people in general say, hey, okay, it's really not about the party line. It isn't. I will vote for whoever I know in my research and my guidance, to vote for the higher good for the country, no matter what party or non-party it is, because that's what's important and the issues. So I appeal to all of you to really, let's come together, let's work together, and let's keep this country and this planet strong and safe, and know that all is well. Best to you, love you,